What up lads, and welcome back to Coyote Racing for part 2 in the How to Get Started in Sim Racing mini-series. The world of sim racing can be a very complicated one, especially if you are new to sim racing, and it can be a little bit daunting. But hopefully this little series will help you guys out, and in today's episode we are going to be covering equipment. Before we get into it, I would really appreciate you hitting that like button, and if you're new here and want to see more videos like this, then I would really greatly appreciate you hitting that subscribe button. And while you're here, why not check out the lovely sponsors over there on the left hand side of the screen. These guys provide for me all of the equipment that I use and the lovely sim racing merch that you guys can buy. Also, once you've finished watching this video, why not check out these videos that I recommend here from this channel. We do a lot of sim racing content here and a lot of variety is in place, so go and check out these videos as well. Now, moving on to subject number 2, we have equipment. Now, I recommend you sit back here because we are about to enter a vast plethora of equipment that you can choose and buy. But you need not worry because we are going to do the same category system again. And this time it is actually 4 categories that I like to split equipment into. Starting with absolute beginner, then entry level, mid-tier, and high tier. So let's begin with absolute beginner. Now you'd be surprised that you don't really need expensive equipment to get started in sim racing. For example, you can start sim racing using a keyboard or a controller. And this is how I got started into sim racing. I used an Xbox controller. Now a lot of you will be probably thinking, but having the more expensive wheels and pedals and all that makes you faster. That simply is not true. I made a video about a year and a half ago where I compared my £3,000 rig at the time with a £50 Xbox controller, and I was able to go just as fast with a controller than with my expensive equipment. And the same goes for keyboard. So if you're an absolute beginner and you're just wanting to start out, then I would recommend you start out with the basic stuff that you might already have. But if you're not wanting to use that, there is a third option, and that is bungee cord wheels. Now bungee cord wheels tend to be very inexpensive and sometimes even cheaper than an Xbox controller. Now the reason why they're called bungee cord wheels is because inside them they have some sort of elastic rope. When you turn the wheel, it builds up force and it makes it feel like there's some weight to the wheel. These are not force feedback wheels. The game is not giving you information about what the car is doing. You are merely turning left and right, and you are using your visual inputs to determine what is going on with the car. I also had one of these for a little bit of time, and I spent around £50 on it, and it was a great little taster to get myself started in sim racing. But do be careful because some of these products may seem very cheap and sometimes go for as little as £15, but there is a reason for that. There is a lot of garbage bungee cord wheels, but you can get decent ones. One of the most successful bungee cord steering wheels ever was the Thrustmaster 458 Spider racing wheel. This comes with flappy pedals, and it tends to be a very well made bungee cord wheel. You can pick these up for under £100, possibly even less than £60. That does it for the absolute beginner category. Now moving into the entry level category. We are now moving into the category of stuff that has force feedback, the steering wheels and pedals. Now once again, this is a very vast market for entry level steering wheels. These products tend to be a bit more expensive than those shown in the last category. So if you've got the pocket, there are 2 wheels that I can highly recommend for the entry level customer. The first one is the Logitech G923. Now, the Logitech G series is the best selling sim racing force feedback wheel ever because it is fairly cheap, it is robust, and it does give out a good force feedback feel. But this wheel is gear driven, so the force feedback might not be as detailed as the second choice that I can recommend, the Thrustmaster T150. The T150 is also a relatively inexpensive force feedback wheel, but this one is belt driven, which can provide a smoother force feedback wheel. But be warned, belt driven wheels tend to be a little less reliable. You can pick both of these up brand new for around £300, but I do say those as brand new. You can pick up second-hand ones for much cheaper than that. With the Logitechs, for example, you could go for a previous generation model which is also second-hand, like the G920 and the G29, and they can be much cheaper. However, if you want to go for something even cheaper, and if you really look, second-hand you can pick up a Logitech DFGT. Sometimes you can pick these particular wheels up for less than £100, and this is a force feedback wheel with paddle shifters and pedals, and it is also belt driven as well. But those are my entry level picks that I would personally go for, ranging from all different types of budget. Now we are entering into the mid-tier. Now prices are going to start getting a little bit higher now, but the equipment is also higher quality. The easiest and most obvious pick for someone who is looking to upgrade their wheel from entry level to mid-tier is the Fanatec CSL DD base. Now this little thing has taken the sim racing world by storm. Why? Because it's a direct drive wheel for a fairly low cost. So how is this a mid-tier product? Well, despite it being a direct drive wheel, it is a much less powerful direct drive wheel, and cheaper materials have been used. Now this particular model comes in two types of packages. You can have the standard one, which is 5 Newton meters of torque, that's how much power the wheel is putting out, or you can have 8 Newton meters of torque for a bit extra money. And also I would like to recommend the Thrustmaster TS series or the TGT series. Now the TGT series is actually very good because for just under £900 you get the steering wheel, you get the wheelbase, and you get load cell pedals. But here is the catch, this wheelbase is not direct drive, it is belt driven. Granted, it is a very highly developed and very finely detailed belt driven wheel, but still it is not direct drive. But I can still recommend this as a mid-tier option because it is a solid option. Thrustmaster tend to be very reliable and their customer service is excellent. Now we are moving into the high tier category, and this is where things can get jolly expensive. And this is the category that pretty much every sim racer wants to be at some point with their equipment. We'll start off nice and obvious because I feel like everybody knows about these, but we'll start off with the Fanatec Podium series. Fanatec offer two high-end direct drive wheels, that being the DD1 and the DD2. Now I happen to own a Fanatec Podium DD1 and it has been one of the best investments I have ever made into upgrading. It is very powerful, it kicks out a peak output of 20 Newton meters of torque, and the DD2 even more than that. Now this is where we get into cost of these direct drive bases. Now direct drive is known to be more expensive, we get that, but this is something that you go and buy in the future when you're ready. My DD1 base cost me €1,200 just for the base. That's no pedals, that's no steering wheel, that's no chassis, just the steering wheel base, and that was €1,200. And the DD2, that was €1,500. Fanatec is a premium brand, so you are going to pay premium prices for premium products. Now it should be said there has been some feedback from the community, and I should say that I haven't personally experienced anything like this, but through the grapevine I have heard that Fanatec can be a little unreliable at times. But not to worry, if your product breaks and it's under warranty, Fanatec tend to be exceptionally brilliant at repairing or replacing your broken products. Another high tier company that I can recommend, purely because they've only just started offering bundles with their products, is SimuCube. Now I do believe that SimuCube are Fanatec's main competitor and they offer extremely high-end gear. They offer 3 different types of direct drive wheel: the Sport, the Pro, and the Ultimate. The Ultimate being the most expensive at €3,130, and the Sport being the cheapest at €1,200. Another reason why I would recommend SimuCube is because within one of their bundles, since SimuCube don't make their own pedals, they are offering in some of their bundles Huschenfeld pedals. Now Huschenfeld pedals are the top tier when it comes to pedals, but the fact that they offer that with one of their bundles is phenomenal. And if you wanted to get the complete set, they have their own steering wheel. Now where SimuCube falls down in comparison to Fanatec is that they don't have a huge ecosystem. When you buy Fanatec, you have access to all of these other steering wheels and pedal options that Fanatec offer. SimuCube only has one steering wheel that they offer, but you can attach other steering wheels from different companies to the base. And my final recommendation for the high tier wheels and wheelbases is my actual favourite of all 3 of these is Moza. Now Moza are brand new to the racing market, but they've already came out of the gate pretty much storming. One of the things they've managed to do is they've managed to create an entire set right off the bat, so that consists of wheelbase, wheel, pedals, and even a dashboard display. Now none of the other companies offer that. Now for around €2,000 or £1,700, you can have the lot wheel, base, pedals and dashboard, and that is remarkably cheaper than both Fanatec and SimuQ. Now Moza offer two direct drive bases. They offer the R16 and the R21, the R16 being around $1,000 and the R21 being around $1,200. So if you want a slightly more affordable way to get into the high tier category, Moza is your choice. However, there is a slight catch. Moza's catalogue is a bit small. They only offer really two steering wheels, and it's the same wheel but a different shape. But the other thing is that Moza are still in early stages of development. So if you get one of these products, you are going to experience the production and development of the wheelbase. And that isn't a bad thing, by the way, because Moza did send a lot of their products out to reviewers. The response was a little bit mixed, but they took those units back and developed on the feedback that they got on how to improve the product, which is fantastic. That being said, there have been a few people on the internet who have never even tried this product already trash talking it. Do not listen to those people. Get your information from people who have actually tried it. Like myself, I can tell you that this product is great. And that thus finishes my high tier category list. Anyway guys, I hope you have enjoyed part 2 of this little series, and I hope that if you are new to all of this sim racing and sim racing gear, that this video has been helpful to you in guiding you on what to buy. In the next episode, we're going to be talking about sim racing pedals, ranging from all kinds of budgets and quality. So if you have enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like, and if you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe button with the notification bell. It would really help me out a lot and I would greatly appreciate it. And while you're here, why not check out the sponsors over there on the left hand side of the screen. Those guys provide for me all of the gear that I use and the sim racing merch that you guys can buy. But anyway guys, thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you guys in the next video. Have a good night everybody.